G'day cocktail lovers. Something a bit different, not one of my pseudo-animated videos, technically not concoctions in the kitchen. I am doing an unboxing video, which I don't think I've ever done before, because I got these whiskies and they're in such cool packaging. I wanted to do an unboxing and a tasting for comparison. Both from the Archie Rose Distillery in Sydney, both part of their Trials and Exceptions series, which are extremely limited edition whiskies that they make. So in terms of giving someone a review to inform their buying choices, not very useful, because you can't get these. If you don't already have them, you can't get them. But if I've got one message behind all this, it's support your local distillery. Wherever you are in the world, there's almost definitely distilleries doing really interesting stuff. In these neat boxes, and just comes off, and the bottle comes out. The only bad thing about these boxes is I'm going to throw them away, and I feel really bad. They're really sturdy cardboard. They are made of recycled materials and they are recyclable, so I'm going to put them out in recycling. But I look at them and go, wow, if you could get in a time machine, go back 200 years, you could gift one of these boxes, not the whiskey, the box, to one of the crowned heads of Europe, and they think it's the most amazing thing they'd ever seen. Like, it's impossible to manufacture. How was it done? What witchcraft is this? And I'm going to chuck it out. So this one, a red gum smoked single malt whiskey. It is 53% alcohol, and as the name suggests, it's been smoked with Australian red gum, a type of gum tree. This one is called Whiskey Gone Awry, a rye whiskey, and it's 52% alcohol. So they're over 100 proof, both of them, and very close to the same. But I think they're quite different whiskies, so I'm going to have a little taste of them as well. That magical moment of taking the cork out for the first time, very satisfying noise. And I'm going to pour this into a shot glass. And now for the Whiskey Gone Awry. Another satisfying pop. And the ASMR glug 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 of pouring it in the shot glass. Visually, they are almost identical. On the nose, as I say. Okay, yep. The red gum smoked, overwhelmingly wood smokes, like barbecue smoke. Very rich sort of aroma, very nice. The Whiskey Gone Awry, not smoke. Ooh, there's a little bit of sweetness. Very interesting. The way I like to taste whiskies, I like to have a taste of them at room temperature, just neat, and see what that's like. And then I like to put a little bit of ice in and see what they taste like chilled and a little diluted. And in case there's any whiskey wankers out there saying, "Oh, you can't do that," you're a fool, you're a clown, you're an embarrassment. That's what distillers tell you to do. Add water or ice, because a little bit of water in the whiskey opens up all sorts of different flavours. So if you're one of those sad wankers who sits around going, "No, you could only have it neat at room temperature," you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Back the hell off, son. I'm going to taste the rye first because I think it's lighter and is less likely to be overpowering the other whiskey. But a little sip. Oh, it's got that real rye spiciness. Very, very, very warm going down. To me, that's a very traditional rye whiskey taste, that really spicy note in there. For a taste of the red gum smoked single malt, my initial take on that, it was a bit lighter and sweeter straight up. Doesn't have the spiciness of the rye, but that smoke, that's like this really deep, rich smoke flavour. These are very interesting whiskies. Now I'm going to try them with a little bit of ice. For no particular reason, I'm going to do reverse order with the ice in there. This is the smoked red gum single malt. Now it's bringing out almost vanilla caramel notes in there. That's smoke on the back palate though, that's real. Now the rye, that tones down the spiciness a little, but it stays on your tongue. For people who like rye whiskey, they're really going to like that one. For no reason apart from fun, this is a very unscientific comparison happening now. I thought, okay, I've got a smoked single malt. Why don't I compare it to a peaty Scotch whiskey? This is Talisker 10-year-old. It's also a single malt. I'm going to compare that to the smoked red gum whiskey. And for the rye, I'm going to compare to an American rye. This is High West's double rye. This is distilled in Utah. So I'll put a little bit of that on ice, and I'm going to compare that to the Archie Rose Whiskey Gone Awry. The smoky whiskey's first big difference, the Talisker is much, much lighter than the Archie Rose. So I'm going to have a little sip of Talisker. Yep, that is a smoky, peaty whiskey. And the Archie Rose, it's a completely different kind of smoky. Most people, when you talk about a smoky whiskey, they will instantly think of a peated whiskey, because that's the most common. So when something's wood smoked, it's actually a completely different character. Like I said, it's a kind of obvious comparison, but this very much reminds me of wood smoke from a barbecue. And even like wood smoked meats, barbecue meats. Hey, who's that? Zuckerberg? Smoking my meats? You can't have any, Zuckerberg. Fuck you. The High West Rye is also much lighter than the Archie Rose Whiskey Gone Awry. But again, quick comparison. It's got a lighter sweetener. It's still got that rye spice, but compared to the Archie Rose, to me, it's the difference between white sugar and brown sugar. It's like white sugar and molasses. They both have the rye spice. In fact, feeling the tingle on my tongue, I think the Archie Rose has more rye spice than the High West. They're both good ryes, but yes, anyone lucky enough to get that who's a rye lover, and I like me a rye, I'm going to try it. I'm also going to upset the whiskey wankers because those are going to be in cocktails. I'll be trying them with things like an old-fashioned, Manhattan, and a few other things. I don't know, I will occasionally sip them straight, I'm sure, but I like cocktails, so that's what I'm going to make. And I hope you enjoyed this little comparison. Like I said, it's slightly unfair because you basically can't get the Archie Rose ones. They're already sold out. But I'm just encouraging people, look for a local distillery. There are almost definitely, wherever you are in the world, there's a local distillery doing amazing things, and it's worth checking out. And I hope you enjoyed just this little insight into some of the whiskies I have, and I hope to see you again soon. But I will say goodbye for now. Double fistin'. Cheers!